Okay, I had this experience a few years ago. Has anyone ever heard of an NDE? You know what that is? Near-death experience. Has anyone ever here had a near-death experience where you almost died, where you pretty much thought you were going to die, and you were on your way out, and you were saying this, and somehow it doesn't happen? A lot of times when that happens to a person, when they come back, everything sort of changes. Everything looks different. And when I had this experience, what happened to me when I came back, has anyone heard of, this is like a quiz here, has anyone heard of the term synchronicity? You know what that means? Unexplained coincidences, things that happen that you can't quite explain. After my situation, I started seeing synchronicity everywhere. And there was this grace period I had of like 4 months where everywhere I looked, and I had never seen anything like this before, and it was everywhere. And it kind of faded, but I still have it. I still see these unexplainable coincidences a lot. I had, the other day, this story's kind of rambling. When I was a kid, I took guitar lessons from a teacher who made me use this book by Tommy Tedesco, Guitar Exercises by Tommy Tedesco. Tommy Tedesco was the guitar player in the Wrecking Crew, which was the LA group of session musicians that played on everything. Every hit from the 60s, you'll hear Tommy Tedesco's guitar on it. And he wrote this book that I used in my lessons. The best part about the book was, I promise the story's coming back around. I promise you, there is an end point to this. In this book, the best part of the book is in between the guitar exercises, he told stories from his career as a guitar player. And they were amazing stories. And he told this one story about how he was in LA and he needed to make some more money, because that's all he did for a living. And one month the money was tight. And so he went on the Gong Show. The serious guitar player. He dressed up in a tutu and went out onto the Gong Show, and it was just ridiculous. But he explained, I needed the money, it paid really well. He won, and he understood the laws of the music business, so he wrote the song he sang. So for the rest of his life, he got checks in the mail every month from that one little appearance. Well, I tell you, this is coming back around. I was thinking about this story recently, because it's such a funny story. I was thinking about it. And I bought this guitar magazine, this collectible guitar magazine from 1977 that I found on Reverb.com. That's not a commercial, they're not paying me, but Reverb.com is like eBay, but it's all music stuff. And I found this collectible guitar player magazine with Leo Kottke on the cover. You can probably tell from my playing here that I really love Leo Kottke. And there's an article in there, Leo Kottke, and I got the magazine. It's in really good shape for 1977. I opened it up, and it opened right to this story by Tommy Tedesco with him in a picture in a tutu playing the guitar on the Gong Show. This stuff happened. Now, the problem is I haven't figured out how to get paid from this. And I'm being serious. I used to think, when I first started experiencing this, I thought, well, this means I'm going to get everything in the world I want, right? That's not, I don't know what it means, but I know it doesn't mean that. I know it doesn't mean that. I know it doesn't mean that. Recently I was interviewing for this job I really wanted. And my wife and I, every time, we live by an open space. And like every day we looked out on the open space, we saw coyotes out there. Now, I grew up in farm country where we say coyote instead of coyote. So I still have it. Every time we went for a hike, every time we did anything, there were coyotes everywhere. And I kept saying, this means I'm going to get this job, doesn't it? This means it. I didn't get that job. So now every time we see these coyotes, I say, that's lion coyotes. Anyway, recently I've come to the opinion that even if it doesn't mean you get everything you want, having this stuff, whenever it happens, and you know what I'm talking about if you've experienced this, it's like for a brief second you get to look into another world. There's like this curtain that goes up between this world and this other world, and you get a look in there just for a second, and then the curtain closes really quickly again. So, if nothing else, you get that, and it's still cool, and I'm really glad I have it. That was a really long story. This song is called Between Two Worlds. Thank you.